I'm Teanna. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. With everyone going back to school, I really wanted to make a video about stethoscopes. When I was trying to decide what stethoscope I wanted, it was a really hard decision trying to figure out what would be best for me in that time. Stay tuned till the end of this video so that you can find out what stethoscope really suits your needs. The first stethoscope that I want to start off with today is my very first stethoscope. It's the stethoscope I used when I was working as a medical assistant for a cardiovascular and thoracic surgeon. It is the Littmann Lightweight 2 SE. I'm going to give you all the details about it first and then we'll talk pros and cons. This stethoscope is 28 inches and it weighs 3.7 ounces. It is Lippmann's lightest stethoscope. The chest piece is a tunable diaphragm, which means that if you just give it light pressure, you hear low tones. With firmer pressure, you hear high tones. With light pressure, you hear low tones. With firm pressure, you hear high tones. I don't know why I keep wanting to say light tones. It also has a dual chest piece. So I don't know if you can see, but that has the smallest dip to make it a bell. So you could just hold the tube piece. So hold the tubing right here by the chest piece and spin, and that opens either the diaphragm or the bell. So instead of just using the pressure mechanism, you can turn it to use the bell or the diaphragm. It is a single lumen tube. This is a great stethoscope for CNAs, certified nurses assistant, for patient care techs, for medical assistants. It's wonderful. Lippmann recommends it for medical student and for nursing students, but we'll get into how I feel about that. The price is great. It's usually $63.28, but right now on Amazon, it's on sale for $41.99. That is a $21.29 saving, which you can't beat. A stethoscope for $42, that's amazing. It comes with a 2-year warranty and it comes in 7 different colors. All colors have this stainless steel hardware. And Lippmann rates this on their acoustic performance scale as a 6 out of 10. It's important to know that all of Lippmann's tubing, it's made of resistant next generation tubing that retains its shape and flexibility. Even after folding it. I will show you what I do with my stethoscopes. I don't like anything that hangs around my neck, so I usually just kind of ball my stethoscope up and put it in my lab coat pocket. With the Lippmann tubing, even after you ball it up and stick it in your pocket for hours and hours at a time, you can undo it and it's still nice and straight. That is a huge plus on Lippmann's part. This resilient next generation tubing means that your tubing lasts because of the improved resistance to skin oils and to alcohol. And it's also less likely to pick up stains, which is a huge plus on the part of Lippmann and their new generation tubing. All of the tubing that I'm going to show you in the stethoscope models that I have today are latex free, so they're all patient and user friendly. Lippmann offers an auscultation course that's free using a Lippmann app with all of their stethoscopes. Doesn't matter the make or model. Pro concerning the Littmann Lightweight 2 SE stethoscope. This chest piece. The way that it's shaped makes it perfect for fitting underneath a blood pressure cuff when you're taking manual blood pressures. I would absolutely recommend this stethoscope for CNAs, for medical assistants, for patient care techs, but for nurses, not so much. And why? Because of that acoustic rating. 6 out of 10. I used this one time for my nursing clinical, and that was the last time. I can't hear anything out of this. I can hear blood pressure tones, those, I can't even remember what they're called, Chervatsky tones, I don't even know. But I can't hear lung sounds, I can't hear bowel sounds. All I can hear are heart tones using the stethoscope. And when you're trying to auscultate a patient's lung sounds and you're a nursing student, it's your first day, and using a stethoscope that rates a 6 out of 10 on the acoustic scale, the first time I used it, and only time I used it, I was listening to a patient's lung sounds. And when you're a new nurse, when you're a nursing student and you're trying to auscultate lung sounds, every second that ticks by feels like an eternity. So there I was listening to my patient as, you know, a brand new nurse. It's my first day in clinicals, you know, and I'm standing there putting light pressure and harder pressure because I can't quite hear the tone. So then I'm thinking, oh no, am I not using enough pressure? Am I using too much pressure? Why can't I hear anything? And you know, you've got your patient staring up at you and that makes you even more nervous. And all you're thinking to yourself, all I was thinking to myself was, oh my gosh, this patient is going to ask for a real nurse instead of a nursing student. They're gonna kick me out because I can't even use the stethoscope. This stethoscope just isn't meant for those detailed assessments. It's really great for nurses' aides, for doing those blood pressures, for doing basic vital signs, but I can't recommend this to anyone who's going into nursing. She's not good enough. So, you know, I feel like bye sis about this one, okay? You can't hear anything, so don't get it. I know, it's a great price, but because it is only $42, if you're considering getting a stethoscope as a backup that you just leave in your car in case you forget your stethoscope, sure, I could see that, you know, a backup that you can't really hear that well out of. Otherwise, pass, huge pass. The next stethoscope I want to talk to you about is the stethoscope that I got when I was in nursing. This is the Stethoscope Cardiology model. When I was looking for my nursing school stethoscope, I was looking for something that had high quality stethoscope performance without the high quality stethoscope price. And so I found Stethoscope. It's a Japanese based company and their stethoscopes are very comparable to Lippmann stethoscopes, which is very attractive. But the price point it made it great because, you know, when you're in nursing school, you're broke, you're a student, you have no money. And so this was a great option. I absolutely adored it. Let's talk about the specifics. Then I'll talk about the pros and cons. This is a Stethoscope KL770 model cardiology. It's 28 inches long. It weighs 7.2 ounces, which is a nice weight for a stethoscope. It feels hardy. It doesn't feel cheap and flimsy, but it's not so heavy. It's a nice medium weight to it. The chest piece is an adult size diaphragm, but it also has a bell. In order to switch back and forth between the diaphragm and this nice deep bell, you do the same thing as I showed you. You just turn and it'll open either side. Remember, when you put your earpieces in, you always want to remember just to give it a little tap so you know which side is open and which side is closed. Otherwise, you're going to try and listen and you're going to be like, I can't hear a thing. My stethoscope is broken. When in actuality, you just have the wrong side open. This tubing, it's nice and thick. It has a nice thick lumen and it's a double lumen tubing. Dual tubing means that inside of here, this single tubing here, there's actually two different chambers. There's two different lumens in here that delivers a clean, clear sound all the way up to the earpieces. You really eliminate the surrounding sound, the environmental sound. So dual lumen, whether you get this one or not, I suggest that if you're working in the emergency room or somewhere that's very loud, dual lumen tubing is really going to help to eliminate those extra environmental sounds. This stethoscope, it is a cardiology, so it's usually used by people who work in the telemetry floors, the intensive care floors, especially if it's a cardiac intensive care. I would suggest a cardiology model to anyone who works in telemetry, anyone who works in critical care, who really needs to pick up on those subtle heart tones when you're doing your physical assessment. Great price point. These are $77.77 on Amazon. I'll link everything down below so you can find it easily. This is a cardiology model. It is comparable to the Littmann Master Cardiology for an amazing price, $77.77. That's fantastic. It does have a 1-year warranty, but with Stethoscopes, you have a 30-day return, which is phenomenal. So you can try it out for 30 days. If you don't like it, send it back, no problem. But I think you're gonna love it. I really enjoyed my Stethoscope. It's a beautiful color. It's not very common. So let's talk about the pros. The sound quality on a Stethoscope is amazing. The price point is very affordable for nursing students, brand new nurses, whoever you are. It's $77 for a cardiology model. I told you about the dual lumen tubing, so that, like I said, delivers those clean, crisp sounds and you pick up subtle heart tone. The weight is, it's a good weight, but it's not too heavy. So If you wanted to, you could wear it around your neck. Throughout my whole nursing school experience, just balled it up, stuck it in my pocket. And my tubing is still nice and straight. It's pretty amazing. I do have to say that there are some areas on here where there's a little bit of color transfer from my, I can't really find any specific spots right now. Oh, here's maybe a pen or something that I got on there. So it does pick up some color from your uniform, maybe from your pens, I don't know. But the Lippmann does not. The Lippmann's very resilient. Their color transfer is very, very low, which is good. The biggest con for me is that it's not a Lippmann. And so that kind of brings me to my next stethoscope. Once I finished nursing orientation and was working as a nurse on my own, I did get a brand new stethoscope. The only reason that I switched my Keela out for a Lippmann was because I wanted the Lippmann name. It's kind of, I mean, I'm going to be very honest. I really did just want to have a Lippmann to have a Lippmann. And so I got the top of the line as far as mechanical stethoscopes that Lippmann has, and that's the Littmann Master Cardiology. It comes in two different sizes. So it comes in the 27-inch, which is what I have, and the 22-inch. If you're going to get a Littmann Master Cardiology, I suggest getting the 27-inch instead of the 22-inch. While you can hear a little bit clearer with the 22-inch because it's a shorter tube, so the sound doesn't have to go so far, because you have that shorter tube, you're sacrificing personal space with your patient. You're already right on top of them listening to their sounds, but with this longer tubing, when I go to listen to the far side of their lateral chest, I'm not right in their face. I have some room to kind of go around their chest over to that lateral side. So definitely suggest getting the 27-inch. So 27-inch, it is 14.4 ounces. So this is the heaviest of the stethoscopes that I have. But I don't really feel like it's heavy. If I were the type of person who wore my stethoscope around my neck, it's definitely doable. I could, for 12 hours, have my stethoscope around my neck and have it be no problem. But I don't like things hanging on my neck. So I do ball my stethoscope up and put it right in my scrub pocket, and it stays there until I need it. And look at how beautiful and straight my tubing is. It's just gorgeous. So with the Littmann Master Cardiology, it is a tunable diaphragm. What that means is with light pressure, I hear low tones, and then with a little bit firmer pressure, I hear higher tones. I love that about these tunable diaphragms. So I don't have to interrupt my auscultation in order to flip my diaphragm around and then listen with the bell. I just apply firmer or lighter pressure. That is so great. Every nurse that I talk to says that they wish they had a tunable diaphragm, and the ones who do have tunable diaphragms love it. I absolutely love this feature. I recommend it every day, all day. And you know, there have been circumstances where I've needed to do manual blood pressures, maybe because my patient is dehydrated and they have a weak thready pulse and the machine's not picking it up, or maybe I think that it's a false read by the machine and I just want to double check. Similar to the Littmann Lightweight 2 SE, the Master Cardiology allows me space to slip the chest piece underneath the blood pressure cuff so that I can take a manual blood pressure comfortably. Love that. The Master Cardiology is a dual lumen, so it delivers that clear, crisp sound that my Kila scope did. The acoustic performance rating that Lippmann gives their Master Cardiology is a 10 out of 10. It is the best acoustic response in the Lippmann mechanical stethoscope series. So this is top of the line. Price point ranges from $172.52 to $196.89. It's very high. So you're getting high quality, but at a high price with the Lippmann. It comes in 17 different colors with a lot of different finishings. So this is the black tubing with brass hardware. You can also get mirror hardware, smoke hardware, champagne hardware, which is a really pretty color. And like I mentioned before, it is the resilient next generation tubing that is very flexible. It retains its nice straight shape even though I just kind of ball it up and shove it into my scrub pocket for hours at a time. It's resistant to skin oils and alcohol, so the tubing does stay nice and flexible. I don't have cracking, and it's dark colored, but if it were a lighter color, you could see that it's very resistant to color transfer, which is going to be a major plus if you get a lighter color. And all Littmann stethoscopes come with a course to help you learn lung sounds and heart sounds, and you take quizzes to really sharpen your skills using an app that's available on smartphones and iOS. This video is not sponsored, but I mean, come on, everybody loves a Littmann. Pros about this stethoscope: it's a Littmann, it's beautiful. The acoustic rating is 10 out of 10. What more can I say? Cons about this stethoscope: its price point. It is so expensive. And honestly, while I can hear clearly with it, I'm not overly impressed by the quality of acoustic sound that I get from it. It's very comparable to my Keela scope. The only reason I got it is because I wanted the Lippmann name so that I could have a Lippmann too. Which is kind of silly, but I don't know. I'm glad I have a Lippmann. I love this thing. Another pro about this Lippmann is that it comes with a special adapter. And what do they call it? They call it a special procedures adapter. So it looks like this, and you just put it on your chest piece. It goes on nice and easily. I have actually never tried to put it on. This is my first time. Oh, wow. That went on so easily. So it's a special adapter, and it makes the diaphragm a little smaller. So it's great for pediatric patients. If you're thinking about getting this Lippmann and you work with peds, especially if you work on a mom-baby unit and you need to switch from mom to baby. It's so easy to put on and take off. I'm so impressed. One of the nurses in my unit uses his special adapter for our elderly population because they can be small in stature. And so this special adapter piece comes in handy in all units, especially if you're in the emergency room, because you see patients of all ages. A con when it comes to the Master Cardiology is that the ear tips, in order to form a really tight seal, they're quite stiff and hard. And yeah, I couldn't wear my stethoscope for very long without really hurting my ears. But on Amazon, I found these cherry soft stethoscope ear tips that are compatible with the Master Cardiology. They are soft and squishy, and it's actually what I have on here now. They just feel so comfortable in the ear, and they still create a nice seal so that I don't get a lot of environmental noise when I'm trying to listen to my patient's heart, lung, and bowel sounds. Would I recommend the Master Cardiology? No, not really. I love it because it's a Lippmann, but I paid way too much for it. Let me tell you about the stethoscope that I would definitely, hands down, recommend to you. And if I had it to do all over again, the stethoscope that I would have chosen. It's the Lippmann Master Classic 2. Its tubing is 27 inches and it's 10.6 ounces. So that puts it in between the Keela scope and the Littmann Master Cardiology. It does have a tunable diaphragm. So that's that diaphragm. Light pressure are low sound, firmer pressure are high sound. It's a single-sided chest piece. So it's just like my Littmann Master Cardiology, where there's not a bell on the other side. So you can slip it underneath the cuff, and also makes listening to your patient's body tones a lot easier because you just hold it like this. It's such a comfortable grip. When you're holding something with a bell, I always found I didn't quite know where I should put my hands, because if I'm holding the tubing, then I'm making, rubbing sounds on my tubing. But if I'm holding up here, then you don't want to occlude this hole because that affects the sound. It's just, I don't know. I overthink things, and so I tended to overthink with that. But with a chest piece like this, it's simple. You're not touching the tubing, you're holding the sides. Love it. I can't say how much I love it. It's designed for an easier grip, which is excellent, and easy maneuvering when you're listening to those different body sounds and if you're checking manual blood pressure. It's a single lumen, which doesn't deliver that clear, crisp sound that we like in the dual lumen. However, Lippmann ranks its acoustic performance at a 9 out of 10, and its price point ranges from $78.94 to as high as $145.99. But the price point is really dependent on the finish that you have on your hardware. There are 9 different colors, and you can have 2 hardware options, and that's black plated or plated and polished alloy. But as low as $78.94, That's $79 for a quality stethoscope. It's great for diagnosis and for physical assessment, and there's a 3-year warranty. So for that price point, for the acoustic quality that you're getting, 7 color options, I really think you can't go wrong. My recommendation for any nurse going to nursing school is the Littmann Master Classic 2. It's gonna give you everything that you need. You're going to have good sound quality. You're gonna have the Lippmann name, great price point. I think quality for the price point is absolutely worth it, and it's a stethoscope that you could have into your practice. So when you graduate, you're not going to need a new one, but if you want a new one, hey, go for it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it helped you in deciding what stethoscope is going to be best for you. I can't wait until next time. If you haven't already, subscribe below and hit that bell icon for more great content. Till next time.